Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? I'm going to give it a second just in case some people wanted to come in for the live. Usually not, but I want to give it a second to see if someone will want to join the live. Today, I want to talk about debt consolidation and my journey on debt consolidation. It's not one of those finance videos. I'm not here to bash you or chastise you or anything. I just want to share my journey of how I went from not thinking I'd be able to pay off my debt to getting to a point to where I could pay off my debt, and I increased my credit score by almost 100 points. Um, so I just want to share that increasing your credit score can be done significantly, and that you are not alone, and it's not as hard as you think it is. I promise. I'm so excited to share this information because when I first decided to make this video, I only increased my credit score by probably like 60 points. But I just checked recently, and now, like from making consistent payments on my debt, paying once, maybe even twice a month, my credit score has increased by 99 points, and it's only been like 4 to 5 months. So the fact that you're watching this live or that you've clicked on this video after it's already posted, it shows that you've probably made the intention to do better with your debt and your finances. And let's see if I can help you turn that intention into action so you can accomplish those goals. So, before I get into it, what is debt consolidation? It combines all of your debt into one payment. Um, so, this video will be geared towards someone who is in a lot of credit card debt or whatever loans you might have out there. If you have multiple credit cards with high usage, debt consolidation might be the answer for you. Um, for me, I had credit card debt, and it got to a point where I was making payments, and the payments just kept going up, like how much that I owed. No matter how much that I paid, because the interest rate was so high, I felt like it would never go down. Um, and credit usage has a high impact on your credit score. So I was in a bad situation all around. So I decided that I wanted a higher credit score. So I started doing research and started to make changes. So the first thing that you have to do is decide. If you haven't decided, you might as well just click off the video because it's not going to be helpful for you. And I don't want to convince you to do anything. So if you've decided that you want to pay down your debt, keep watching. Okay. But before you start filling out any applications or anything, there are some things that I think you should do. Of course, do your research and make sure that you would actually be able to pay off your loan. What I did is that I researched different credit unions that would offer me the lowest interest rate for the personal loan that I would take out to pay off my credit card debt. I could have done a better job with that, honestly. I only researched a couple credit unions that I was familiar with, but I could have done better and called different ones in the areas that could have possibly given me a lower interest rate. But I just did what I could handle mentally at the time. I still think I did a great job. So this lets you know that you don't have to do everything perfectly and still get an amazing result. Um, so yeah, I researched a couple credit unions and I went with the one that gave me the lowest interest rate. Um, the credit unions that I researched, they had simulators on their websites where you can input your credit score, how much money that you would need to pay off your debt, and it would show you an estimate of how much your monthly payments would be, an estimate of the interest rate that you would have, so you would know if you'd be able to afford it. That was my first step. But for me, when I did that step, it was a much lower interest rate and I'd be paying way less a month. So I knew it was something that I wanted to do. If your credit is really bad or it's poor, then getting a personal loan like this might not be the best decision for you. Consolidating your debt that way might not be the best decision. You might have to increase your credit score first so you can get a better interest rate on the loan. Because if you try to do this with a poor or bad credit score, your interest rate might not be significantly lower than the interest rate that you're already paying on your credit cards or your other loans. So make sure you do your research on that before you make a decision. If you're interested in getting your credit score up, though, there is an amazing YouTuber called The Credit Solutionist. I have her information linked in the description box below, and I think it would be really helpful. So, yes, check her out. And I have a little story to share on how I made sure that I was able to pay off my debt before I applied for any type of loan. So, to prove to myself that I was disciplined enough to not put more debt on my cards after to make sure I was able to pay everything off, I made sure that I was able to pay off my card with the lowest amount of debt on it first before I made the decision to put in an application to consolidate my debt. So, my credit card with the lowest balance every month, I made sure that I was putting down more than what the lowest, what's the word for the lowest amount that you pay for your credit card. I was paying more than whatever that was. I can't think of it. It's escaping my mind right now. But I made sure that I paid more than what it was asking me to pay. And shortly, I was able to make sure that balance was zero. And once I did that, it gave me that boost of like happiness and like that boost of serotonin that made me feel like I was unstoppable, honestly. And after that, I just knew that I could do it. Like there was nothing holding me back. So it was very important to me to make sure that I was able to do that, to make sure that I wasn't adding debt on top of debt, um, and that I'd be disciplined enough to pay it off, because then there would be no point of going through all of this if you can't do that. So once I did my research, I knew how much money I needed for the loan. I knew I'd be able to pay the loan each month, no problem. After I chose the credit union with the lowest interest rate, all I had to do was fill out the application, and the rest was history, honestly. Um, but I think the number one thing that I did to change my mindset about debt, paying it off, and everything was basically to just make the decision to do better. Because I probably could have done this a long time ago if I would have set the intention and made the decision to be able to pay it off and increase my credit score a while ago. And making that decision to do better, it honestly opened blessings that I was not even expecting. I was expecting to just be in a better position to pay off debt, like pay it off a little bit sooner. I was expecting maybe a little bump in my credit score. Nothing too crazy, but I got way more than I imagined. I was not expecting for my credit score to boost almost 100 points in 4 to 5 months. I'm still not in the excellent credit range yet, but I don't doubt that I will be there this year. Um, Before I wrap up, I do want to say again that once you get that loan, do not use those other credit cards unless you're able to pay them off every month. You don't want to put yourself in a worse position than what you were before. Um, Also, what also gave me the credit boost, like little small credit boosts, is that I was breaking my payments into two payments. So I'm not sure of the science behind it. I didn't do a whole bunch of research. You'd have to look that up yourself. But I paid my debt once in the middle of the month and once on its due date. And for some reason, they liked that, and it gave me slight bumps in my credit score every month. Um, but yeah, that's all that I have for you guys. That is how my journey went from going to not really knowing what to do to making the decision to do better, and the actions that I had to do to get there. Um, if you didn't get anything else from this video, I want you to get that it's not enough to want to do better. You actually have to decide to do better and take the steps to be better, um, to basically turn those intentions into actions. Um, for my church people, faith without works is dead. We've all heard that one before. Um, But that's all that I have, and I want to thank you all for watching my video all the way to the end. If you found anything that I said helpful or entertaining, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all again next week. Bye.